Today I'm going to be demonstrating how to do a little bit of no line coloring with an image from Tons of Fun from Sugar Pea Designs. I've stamped my image onto Tailored Expressions Sugar Cube cardstock using Simon Says Stamp Pale Blush ink. This is a good ink color. I just happen to have it, and this is the color that was light enough to do this technique. You could use any similarly colored light ink, or you could stamp off a darker ink so that you get like a lighter version of that darker ink color. You want to pick something that's going to blend in with most colors, and then you just want to get it stamped on your paper. Make sure you're choosing something that's compatible with Copic markers. Today my colors that I'm going to be using, I'm going to be coloring the elephant blue. So I am going to be using B23, B21, B91, and B95 for my blues, and then I'm going to be using N3, N1, and N0 as my grays for some shadow, and then I have my 0 just in case I need it for any lightening or blending. Okay, so to start, I just like to pick a place to start. I'm left-handed, so I'm going to turn this just a little bit to the side here. I usually pick a place that's not crucial to the image to start. Like, I usually leave the face till I've got something else established and have a good feel for how my colors are going to go. I'm going to start with the B95, and I'm going to actually start here on the crease of the ear, and I'm actually going to color over the line that was there just a little bit. And then on this one I want to I'm just going to draw in a line here just to give a little bit more definition to the crease. And then I'm going to take my oops, I jumped ahead here, my B23, and kind of go over that. Now that I have that blue line in there, it's a little, I can start coloring a little more freely. I've got my base started. And then I'm going to jump back to B21, and I'm going to start blending some of this a little bit. Just little circular motions. My marker is almost dry. I may end up skipping to B91 for the rest of it. Yeah, that's a lot better. Okay, just to kind of start blending that out. And I'm going to take my 0 and just kind of soften this edge just in case I need it softened in there a little bit, like that. Now I'm going to go back and do the top edge of the ear. Since this is going to be no line coloring, we're not going to have a black edge to make the edge of that show up, so we're going to have to put a little bit of color on the edge where maybe you might not normally do that. So I'm going to go back to my B95, and I'm going to just very carefully put a little bit of this blue just over the ink line. And I'm going to carry it down the side here just a little bit. And then I'm going to take my B23 and do another thin line. And then I'm going to jump straight to the B91 and start blending that out, because I don't want that to show up super dark, so it's not really a shadow area, and the 91 will kind of soften back some of that edge there. I'm doing the same thing down the side here. Alright, so there's the top of the ear started. You can see how now I've covered up most of the lines there on the top of the ear. I'm going to move back down here to where I'm going to have another shadow right there, so I'm going to jump back to the 95, B95, and start adding my shadow there. Pull that up the ear just a little, and then jump to the B23. Kind of blend it in. The B23 is actually darker than the 95, but the 95 is a little grayer, so it makes a good shadow base. And then jump to my 91, get the right marker, and start blending this out. I usually start up in the dark for a while and then start pushing the color out so that it blends out. And then just be real careful of your edges here. Now, I don't know if you can see, I got a little thing here I need to work on, so I'm going to jump to my B21. I'm not using it too much because it's almost dry, but it'll help blend out some of my edges right there. Go back to the 91, kind of fill this up. Now here on the edge, my B91 marker won't cover that edge, so I'm going to go back to the 95 here and just kind of go over that really carefully. It does pay to have a little bit of a steady hand here, and then I don't want that to be a super heavy outline, so I'm going to soften the edge here with the lighter marker. And then if I need to, I can use my 0 to kind of blend where I want the highlight on that ear to be. Kind of mess with that just a little. Alright, so there's my ear and a little shadow back here. I'm actually going to take my ends, my grays a little bit, and kind of build this shadow a little bit more because I want this to cast a shadow onto that part of the ear. So I'm going to go in here with that. And shadows actually I don't feel like they need to be blended quite as much as some of the base color does. So I'm not going to worry a whole lot if it doesn't blend in super smooth. I'll take one of my blues and just kind of layer over that so it builds the shadow without changing the color too much. And this is B21 that I'm using to just kind of blend all of that up a little bit. Alright, so there's the ear, pretty much done. I'm going to jump to this ear back here. I'm going to have a dark back at this part, and then it's going to fade up to a little bit lighter, but because it's usually rounded, this top edge will have a little bit of color on it. So I'm going to start just like I did before with the 95. And then go in with the 23. And then to my 21, just to kind of smooth and blend out. And then to 91, up to the edges. And then I'm going to take this, my 0, and just kind of lighten right here a little bit, just for a highlight, a little tiny bit. And then I'm going to jump to my 23 and do a little outlining to get my edge in there. And then I'll fade it out with the 91. And I'm just going back over the top of what I pulled out with the 0, and the reason I did that was so that that whole area didn't get too dark. Okay, now I feel like I kind of want to go back in and make that part down there a little darker, so I'm going to layer a little more down here. Just be careful with your edges. You want them to show up, but you don't want to go too crazy. And as I always tell my middle school kids, objects don't have black outlines, so your shading should make your edges and your lines show up. So once you get all done, you should have nice separation. I'm going to go ahead and just start working through the rest of it without a whole lot of commentary and kind of speed up the video so that you can see how the rest of it gets finished.